Hey everybody, Garrett Claridge here. As you can probably tell from the beginning of this video, we're going to be talking about these PV112 International Series PA speakers. Now these are very old. These are from the 70s, possibly early 80s. It's hard to tell because they did have a lot of versions of these things. So the version that I had, I actually took the coating off. It had a vinyl coating much like a guitar amplifier, and the covers had a silver strip on the side, much like the guitar amplifiers of the 70s did at that time. But I decided to peel all that off, and right now this is just like some heavy-duty black rubberized paint on here. I had the plan on putting truck bed liner on there, and I never ended up doing it. And believe it or not, all the scratches and stuff on these speakers, that is probably like 5 or 6 stage shows that we brought these to, and they're not looking that bad, other than you can see all the glue underneath. If I ever get around to painting these with the truck bed liner, this glue texture on the top is going to blend right in. But as these are just like live sound speakers, so they get bumped around a lot. They get thrown in the back of the truck and they get smashed around on the stage. I've had these around for a very long time. They were actually one of my first pairs of real live sound speakers that could actually perform and were hooked up, and I don't know, I had some pretty ghetto stuff in the past when I was a kid, and these were the first complete speakers I had, and I made sure to keep them in original condition. We have the Black Widow 12-inch woofers. I don't even know why the woofers look so good, because I know for a fact that a lot of beer was spilt on these things. These speakers, of course, they're made for live sound, so band work, all kinds of fun stuff like that. We did a lot of basement jam parties with these things. Never a problem. All the drunk people screaming into the microphones, everyone's ears getting blown out, and the speakers are still here to this day. You might have noticed one of my woofers has a small hole in it and a patch with glue here. That happened around 5 or 6 years ago now. I don't remember the exact details of how it happened, but I'm pretty sure a piece of a drum set flew right through the speaker cover and right into the woofer. We repaired it long ago, and I actually kind of forgot about it till this day. I took the cover off for the video and went, oh geez, look at that. So here's the inputs. We have the 2 full range inputs. These are paralleled. And then there's a piece of duct tape on here because I tried to simplify it. The biamp inputs, high and low. A warning to anybody that's just hooking these speakers up: if you plug the full range signal into the high, it goes without a crossover and it's going to pop the compression driver right away, like rather instantly. Here we have the information on the back. You might have noticed the max power of 150 watts. Now that doesn't sound like very much for a PA system speaker, but back in the 70s and early 80s, they did this thing called not lying to your face. Now, just to put things in perspective, this speaker can definitely take a lot more power than what they're letting on here. So what I often do, this is pretty much the only amp I use on these speakers. I love these amplifiers. These are the DCM 2000s by Carvin. They're US made amplifiers as well. But at 8 ohms, I believe these are 650 watts a channel. And just plugged into these things, they absolutely had no problems at all. So one major design flaw with these was the handle on top. It's just the typical sort of handle like the top of a guitar amplifier. The problem is these are very heavy, and man, I don't even know the weight of these. They have to be over 40 pounds a piece, and they're very awkward. The Black Widow has a gigantic magnet on it. Now, yeah, a lot of people think they can just go and lift these by the handle, and that's just kind of a joke almost, because you're going to hurt yourself. It's pretty cool to know that one of my first pairs of speakers is still useful to me today. From floor monitors to just a speaker out in the rain, these things have come in handy and definitely got the job done. They're workhorses, to say the least, really. So, the only thing to say now is, I think we're going to have to open these up and check out what's inside. So here is the high frequency driver. This is a 1-inch compression driver, and by 1 inch I mean this thread on here is actually 1 inch in diameter. So we have the PV22A. Again, just size comparison, me trying to hold this darn thing, it's huge. Not sure how heavy it is. It has to be probably like 7 pounds. I should get a scale out and check these things out because it's pretty insane. If you've never seen a Black Widow before, you're going to love this. So this is a 12-inch driver. Let's just flip it over. So as you can see, the magnet is actually almost the same diameter as the entire speaker. So it probably has like a 10-inch magnet on it for a 12-inch driver. Now what's funny is the 15-inch drivers, they're going to use the same magnet as that. So they have this aluminum basket. You can see here. Here's where the writing is on the side here. So there we have the label on the back, and then we're going to just try to get some scale here. There's a measuring tape. So you can see I have, that's fake money, but it's the same size. So as you can see in the middle, you can see right through it, the dust cap. That's just a vent. You can take the magnet off these. This particular one, it uses like a hex screw, but I've seen them with bolts as well. PV is kind of strange because if I wanted to recone this with the factory replacement, they actually send you the basket as well. So I'd hold on to the magnet, put my magnet on the new basket, and it would have all the voice coil and all that in there, ready to go. It's kind of strange how they do it instead of just tearing out this, and you end up with a bit of scrap aluminum is all. So taking a look in the cabinet, you can see the nice solid plywood. There's also, I forget what you call these little nut things on the back. There's little, yeah, I forget what you call those. If you know what they're called, put that in the comments section. It's not a butterfly, but it pretty much clamps. You know, you use a bolt and it clamps it in there instead of using a screw. There's the opposite side of the top hat, if you're not sure what a top hat is. Just a bit of a pro audio term for the little thing that's holding it onto the speaker stand here. Now here's where things get a little interesting, and no, you're not looking at my lava lamp, but this is the old crossover network they used to use. See how big and primitive the circuit boards were? Very cool, but look at how much solder is in that. Like, absolutely insane, but it's almost a work of art on its own. This thing's almost... I should almost take the back off that and show you what the actual crossover components look like, because they're on the back of this plate. But I don't think I'm going to get that in depth today. Well, that's about all for now. I'm going to be ending this video with a quick low frequency bass test. You guys be sure to have yourself a nice fucking day.